What's up, YouTube? MTG Biggie, James here. I thought I would do a little rant style, me in front of a camera sort of video to give a break from all the legacy death and taxes videos I've been doing. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I don't really have a standard deck tech prepared beyond the Grixis deck that I already put up. And I haven't really played much modern lately. I may do a deck tech on Green White Tron, but everybody knows what that fucking deck's all about. Like, just make your big stupid cards and win the game, whatever. But I want to talk about just people who annoy me who play Magic. Not saying that all people who play Magic annoy me, but there are like a small cluster of players who do obnoxious shit. First and foremost are these salty, rage quitty, shitty, angry people. Your opponents. If you play in a match and you win, and your opponent then gets upset or salty or just visually angry. It happens. People lose games and people want to win. People really want to win. So they get upset. And that's fine. But, like, don't lose sight of sportsmanship. At the end of the day, Magic the Gathering is a game people take very seriously. They put a lot of time and money and effort and invest a lot of themselves into it. But it's still a card game. I mean, none of the people that I've played that have been angry or salty after I've won or after they've lost or after something didn't go their way or whatever, none of them have been pro tour players. It's not their job. It's not their life, their bread and butter, how they're trying to pay their bills and feed their families and stuff. It's just a game that they're playing. Treat it that way. Like, take it serious, try to do well, and when you don't, it's time to move on. There's another round ahead of you most of the time. So, it's all learning, man. Take it in stride. A very good friend of mine, Sean, used to be the saltiest loser I've ever met my entire life, and it was kind of hilarious because you could see it coming during the game. He would be like sitting there doing his thing, and then like you would draw the card that you need to screw up what he's doing. And he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're just gonna draw perfect every fucking time. You're just gonna draw that card. Why do I even play this game? Why did I do what I did? Because I know you're just gonna win." And it's kind of laughable when he would do that because we'd all call him on his bullshit, and then he would be just like, whatever. And now he's better. He doesn't do that anymore. This is back when we were kids, like 14 years old and shit. But he doesn't do that as much. He's a much more level-headed Magic player, and I think it's made him a better Magic player because of it. Other times or other instances where people get upset that annoys me are people who complain about the deck you're playing. I play a lot on this bootleg website, untap.in, and I'll play Modern to deck test some stuff, play test some decks, whatever, and play Legacy just to, test out some changes to my deck here and there, or adjustments I've made or whatever. Played a dude recently, I'm playing Green White Tron, and they're playing like mono red elementals, which was actually sort of sweet, had a lot of cool synergies and shit. But I'm playing fucking Tron and I Ugin them, or I Karn them, or I Karn and Ugin them, or I just slam a Wormcoil engine, and their little elementals aren't doing much. Dude got like pissed off. He's like, I don't even know why you play that deck. It can't be fun, and then leaves. And then like being the not always bigger person that I can be, I go into the chat of the website and I like tag him directly in a message, and I'm like, hey man, what happened? And he got all salty and upset, and then a couple other people in the chat kind of piled on and started giving him shit after like I explained what happened or whatever to the chat. And then like he got a little upset, and I'm like, listen man, like you're not going to become a better Magic player. I understand you're upset, but you want to you want to test a modern deck. That was the game I entered. When you want to test a modern deck, I'm assuming that you're going to want to see how it plays against Tron. Tron, a massive part of the modern format since the beginning of Modern. So, like, don't get upset when you play against Tron and, like, things don't go your way. He beat me one of the couple games that we played. Not saying that, like, because his deck was amazing or mine was not. It just, he won one of the games and, like, I don't know, take the opportunity to learn. Before you get angry, learn something. Spend your effort and the brain power that it takes to be mad learning something about the game that you just played, something about Magic in general, and your life gets better. Um, People on the internet who complain, I don't know why I air quoted internet, like it's not a thing. The internet. So people who complain about net decks and net deckers and how they're ruining the creativity of the game of Magic the Gathering are just about as full of shit as anybody you'll ever talk to. People who are like net decks didn't exist way back in the day. They did. They existed in like 2003, 2002. I played net decks, Blue Green Madness in that Odyssey Invasion format or whatever. Net deck did very well. I had a pretty high place in a regionals with that deck, like top 64 or whatever. Back when regionals was something that mattered in Magic. It was a net deck. I found that deck either online on a forum or in a magazine, which is just like a slow form of net decking. Magazines, Scry Magazine, Inquest, whatever. But yeah, people that bitch about net decking, I'm sorry, but like I get you want to play your sweet cards, your sweet brews and stuff. That's cool, do that. But like don't get upset when you play against somebody that's playing just a known quantity deck. If you can't build your sweet brew and sweet deck to be able to sideboard for or play around, or that can specifically beat some of the decks you know you're going to play, especially in a format like Modern or even Standard, then my bad. Sorry, should have been prepared. Like, play your sweet brews. I am all for brewing. I will sit down and look at a spoiler coming out on Mythic Spoiler or whatever, and I'll be like, I dig these cards. I'm going to try to make a deck. And generally, it's just something I'm going to mess around with on untap.in, test out, and if it seems real sweet, then maybe I'll pursue building it in real life, whatever. Generally, I don't, but I've recently made, like, Bant Planeswalker decks and shit. Never panned out, but they were fun to mess around with, and then I move on and whatever. Brewing, sweet. It's a great part of Magic, but it's not the only part. Sometimes people want to win games. They'll play a deck that's already a deck. Get over it. There's a YouTuber who is one of the mid to low level YouTubers who makes very poor quality videos that are 90% him bitching about netdeckers and about how Wizards is ruining the game of Magic. And I just don't agree with that mentality. Without netdeckers, the game doesn't grow to the size that it is. Without the internet and using it as a tool within the game. And without Wizards of the Coast making all the cards and all the decisions and stuff, sure, they'll have some missteps along the way, but generally, like, they're responsible for the game that we all love and we all find interesting enough to make YouTube videos about. So shut up. Get over yourselves. There's a sort of a feud going on amongst different YouTubers back and forth. I kind of find it hilarious because I'm sort of new in the YouTube game, but I've been watching this shit for months and it's funny. Outside of that, I just wanted to talk about stupid, annoying stuff within Magic that Magic players do because I think it's funny and entertaining at least. So here's that clickbaity video. Enjoy.